The human expedition to the Karen Rift was supposed to be a routine diplomatic mission. For decades, Earth had expanded cautiously into galactic society, aware that most alien civilizations judged humans as crude, unpredictable newcomers. Lieutenant Elias Ward, a junior envoy, was there merely to observe. He had not expected to stand in the grand crystalline halls of the Velari Empire, confronted by beings who seemed to defy the very definition of beauty. The Velari were unlike any species Elias had seen. Their bodies shimmered with translucent skin that refracted light, their movements fluid as if they swam through air. Their eyes glowed faintly, like constellations. They were elegant, tall, and their forms shifted with subtle iridescence. To humans, they looked almost too perfect, both alluring and intimidating. Elias tried to maintain composure as he followed Ambassador Kessler into the throne chamber. Yet his gaze betrayed him. One figure drew his attention above all, Princess Elira, eldest daughter of the Empress. Her form was both humanoid and alien, long limbs sculpted with graceful musculature, silver blue skin refracting colors like polished glass. Every step she took left a ripple in the air, as though the universe itself bent around her, and Elias's eyes lingered. The audience proceeded with formalities, trade negotiations, pledges of cooperation, but Elias's wondering gaze did not escape notice. Elira stood near the dais, her head tilted ever so slightly, her luminous eyes fixed on him. When the ceremony ended, the ambassador departed to private talks, leaving Elias temporarily alone in the grand chamber. That was when Elira approached. Her voice was like a chord of music, rich and layered. "You keep staring at my legs. Human. What bothers you so much?" Elias flushed crimson. He stammered, I wasn't. Well, I mean..." Elira stepped closer, her movement slow, deliberate. "You find them strange, or do you find them pleasing?" She extended one limb, the muscle shifting beneath iridescent skin. The shape was humanoid, yet subtly different, longer, jointed differently, built for both grace and power. Elias swallowed hard. "Both. Strange and beautiful." Her lips curved into something between amusement and curiosity. "Interesting. Most species avert their eyes. You, instead, cannot look away." From that moment, Elira's interest in Elias became the unspoken undercurrent of the delegation. She sought him out during receptions, cornered him in gardens sculpted from living crystal, and asked endless questions. What do humans desire most? Why do you scar your skin with ink and symbols? Do you find it difficult to breathe in our thinner air? Elias, caught between awe and unease, answered honestly. In turn, he asked about the Velari, their art, their rituals, their sense of time that spanned centuries. What surprised him most was her candor. She did not speak as royalty should, cloaked in distance, but with blunt curiosity, sometimes playful, sometimes piercing. Yet beneath her questions lay a challenge. She seemed to be testing him, prodding at the edges of his discomfort. When she leaned closer than etiquette allowed, when she brushed against him as if by accident, Elias could feel his pulse hammering. The other courtiers noticed, their whispers rising. The alien princess and the human envoy, what game was this? One evening, during a private cultural exchange, Elira insisted Elias join her for a tour of the Celestial Conservatory, a dome filled with living stars contained in crystalline chambers. They walked side by side beneath glowing motes of light, like fireflies adrift in endless night. "Tell me, Elias," she said, her eyes glinting, "why does your gaze linger? Is it fascination or fear?" He hesitated, then answered softly, "It's wonder. I don't know how else to describe it. Everything about you, your people, it feels like looking at something humans were never meant to see. It's overwhelming." Elira stopped walking. She studied him intently, as if peeling back layers. Then she smiled faintly. That is a better answer than I expected. Before Elias could respond, a tremor shook the dome. Alarms blared. The floor vibrated. Guards rushed in, weapons drawn. Elira's expression hardened. "Pirates!" she said. "They dare breach the conservatory." The attackers were no mere raiders. They were dissidents within the Empire, seeking to capture or kill the princess to destabilize the throne. Plasma fire streaked through the crystalline holes as chaos erupted. Elias ducked behind cover, unarmed, while Elira seized a ceremonial spear from the wall. With startling ferocity, she struck down two intruders in a blur of motion. But she was outnumbered. A plasma bolt grazed her side, searing her shimmering skin. Elias, heart pounding, grabbed the weapon of a fallen guard and fired wildly. His shots weren't graceful, but they hit their mark. Together, he and Elira fought their way through, back to the safety of the Royal Guard reinforcements. When the skirmish ended, Elira stood breathing heavily, her wound glowing faintly. Elias rushed to her side. "You're hurt." She tilted her head, blood shimmering like liquid crystal. "And you protected me." "Curious." Her eyes softened. "Perhaps you are not as fragile as you seem." In the aftermath, Elias was summoned to the Empress herself. The matriarch of the Velari was immense in stature and presence, her form radiating authority like the sun. She listened to Elira's account with silent intensity. At the end, she turned her gaze upon Elias. "My daughter speaks of your courage," the Empress said. "Few outsiders earn her notice, fewer still her respect. Yet you saved her. For that, the Empire owes you a debt." Elias bowed low. "I only did what anyone should." The Empress's eyes narrowed knowingly. Not anyone would have dared. In the days that followed, the bond between Elias and Elira deepened. She no longer teased him merely to provoke, but shared with him fragments of her inner world, dreams of traveling beyond her empire's borders, doubts about her people's rigid traditions, a longing for something different. Elias, in turn, shared stories of Earth, its oceans, forests, storms, and the stubbornness of humanity. He found himself laughing with her, debating with her, feeling a connection that defied logic. But not everyone approved. Courtiers whispered of scandal, of impurity. Suitors from other noble houses bristled with jealousy. One, Lord Keitha, confronted Elias openly. "You overstep, human. The princess is not for you." Elias, trembling but resolute, replied, "That's a choice, not yours." Elira overheard and laughed, clear, defiant laughter that silenced the whole. "Indeed, it is my choice, and I am not so weak as to need others to speak for me." The Empress, seeing the stir her daughter's defiance caused, called both Elias and Elira before her once more. "You know the weight of your actions?" she asked Elira. "To choose an outsider is to challenge centuries of tradition." Elira met her mother's gaze with unwavering eyes. "Tradition must bend, or it will break. He sees me not as symbol nor trophy, but as myself." The Empress turned to Elias. "And you, human, do you understand what it means to be bound to one of us? To face the scrutiny of empires, the burden of bridging worlds?" Elias drew a steady breath. "I do, and I'm willing." Silence filled the chamber. Then, slowly, the Empress smiled. "So be it. Let the galaxy whisper. The Velari do not fear scandal.